Hi everyone, this is Alexandra Rouse. I am the Director of Program Management for the Professional Services and Human Capital Portfolio within Federal Acquisition Service of GSA. We are here to announce and run through some slides of our Industry Day for OASIS Small Business Pools 1, 3, 4, and 8A. So today you're going to hear a little bit about the OASIS contract in general, just to refresh your memory and make sure that this is an appropriate contract for you and your business to submit a proposal on. We're also going to go over what the option period is and why we're doing it. We're going to walk you through the solicitation and the key elements of the solicitation to call out areas that you should probably be focusing on. We're also going to provide a demonstration of our Symphony tool, which is the vehicle where we are accepting proposals, and any questions related to the solicitation should be routed through Symphony. And at the end, we have a list of questions that seem to be recurring themes from industry, and we thought it best to share those right off the bat so you won't have to repeat yourself as you're submitting questions, and hopefully they'll be of benefit to you as you're working on your proposals. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to cover the background of OASIS and at a high level on how it works, so you have an understanding of what our federal customers are looking at when they use the vehicle. So OASIS was designed by contracting officers for contracting officers. Our vehicle has been determined by the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, as a best-in-class Tier 3 contract for professional services. And I'll get more into that later in this slide deck. But OASIS saves agencies time because GSA has done the heavy lift of establishing this vehicle in advance for them. Some of the benefits that the agencies receive on this contract are time savings with contract administration, which really allows agency contracting officers to focus on the true mission of their given agencies. We also provide an easy-to-use, flexible contract that's ready for complex professional services today. Industry partners are the highest rated, technically accepted with fair and reasonable pricing, and we use that type of evaluation criteria to ensure that we have competent and professional, experienced service providers available to our federal agencies with proven federal experience. I'd also like to caveat that if you're brand new to government and you are looking to cut your teeth on a government contract, OASIS may not be the vehicle for you. You might want to consider the professional services schedule. So spend under management. That's tied into category management that was launched by OMB, and it's part of the presidential management agenda. Spend under management is divided among 3 different categories from Tier 0 to Tier 3. And this is important to you because government agencies are being tracked on their level of managed spend. If you have extra time for reading, I highly suggest you Google the OMB Memorandum 18-13, as that goes over what the agencies are required to report on using spend under management contracts. So Tier 0 is open market. It's not aligned to any spend. It's usually a one-off contract. Tier 1 is contracts that have been designed for use specific to a given agency. So for example, that would be the Air Force NetSense 2 IDIQ. Tier 3 is a multi-agency solution that is designed for governments that span government-wide access, like our multiple award schedules. Tier 3 is a best-in-class solution. It is managed spend at the government-wide level, and it has sophisticated tracking on prices paid with regard to task orders. So OASIS is considered a best-in-class Tier 3 contract. To give you an idea of why these were created, the OMB conducted research and they identified various categories of spend. Professional services in and of itself is $76 billion market. That includes contracts that are under managed spend and open market contracts. At the top 20% of contracts, which equate to about $15.2 billion, 24 contractors are responsible for 325 contracts. The top 80% spans 897 contractors for $60.9 billion of the spend. And then there's a significant leap when you address the whole addressable market for professional services. That brings us up to the $76 billion total, where there are over 28,000 contractors performing on over 237,000 contracts. So you can see why the government has made a push for spend under management. It saves industry and federal agencies time and expense on preparing contracts and managing contracts. So just to go over a little bit about OASIS, it's, again, a contract vehicle that was designed for complex professional services. It's a multiple award, indefinite quantity, indefinite delivery contract. It's been bestowed the best-in-class Tier 3 designation by OMB. It covers multiple disciplines on a single contract. We, again, have ensured that we have the highest technically qualified contractors on our contract. It has a long period of performance where task orders can be issued up through 2024 and can run through 2029. It supports all contract types to include hybrid, so if your client wants to mix different types of contracts under a task order on OASIS, they have that ability to do it through establishment of contract line items, and task orders valued under $10 million are not protestable. It also allows industry to have direct access to socioeconomic concerns and maximal small business participation through this OASIS Small Business Contract Vehicle. So OASIS task orders allow contracting officers a lot of flexibility for professional services. There is a predominance of work that is identified under the scope of work. It allows for ancillary labor, ancillary IT, and ancillary support or other direct costs. And you can perform all of this under a single task order. You just put out by clinical line items. So what you need to know about the OASIS task orders is that there is a minimum to use the contract vehicle. It starts with a simplified acquisition threshold. We had a waiver signed in the beginning of establishing this contract that allows for no order size limitations. There's no dollar value limit. So the task orders can be as large as the customer needs them to be in order to fulfill their requirements. So again, no maximum order limitation. We don't have catalog pricing on these vehicles because the ordering contracting officer will issue task orders at leveraging FAR 16505, which means competition comes in at the task order level. And the beauty of that is that you can really price your requirements or the agency's requirements based on what they're asking for in their statement of work or performance work statement. Each task order is unique and has specific requirements, unique locations, so you really can give them the best price possible because you have the most information available on a specific task order. The ordering contracting officer maintains control of the task order. They decide on how they want to handle the procurement, which contract vehicle they want to use, the evaluation of criteria, and how they want to conduct award. Our terms and conditions that are within the solicitation, they do flow down automatically to the task order at the task order level, and then all awardees have already been deemed responsible at the master contract level. So that's some time savings for our contracting officers. So again, advantages to ordering contracting officers on OASIS: they follow FAR 16505. They don't have to synopsize or post solicitations in FedBizOps. They leverage fair opportunity, which means they use our listserv and contact our industry base in a given pool that best suits their requirement, and they provide the solicitation package out so everyone within a given pool has an opportunity to provide a proposal. Again, protests under 10 million are not allowable on OASIS, and source selection procedures do not apply. Terms and conditions, the order placement procedures, eval criteria, and method of award, once again, are at the discretion of the ordering contracting officer. So agencies are able to use OASIS either through direct acquisition or assisted acquisition. The ordering contracting officer must take a delegation of procurement authority training offered through our program office. It takes about 90 minutes, and once upon validation of their warrant, they're able to issue task orders against OASIS. They can also leverage different fee-for-service agencies to conduct acquisitions on their behalf. So GSA, for example, has FedSim and the assisted acquisition service that issues contracts on customer behalf. The ordering or the program office for OASIS that manages the master contract, we do not issue task orders for customers. Again, that is with our acquisition friends in AAS and FedSim. Also, agencies that have franchise fund contract programs, they can issue task orders as well, but their COs must have a delegation of procurement authority. So under task orders, OASIS Small Business Contracting Officers, again, must have the delegated procurement authority. Also have to use pools that are align with their requirements, that have the proper NAICS code, and that's how they identify the pool where their requirement is solicited under. They also need to think about their product service codes and how they're going to be using the task order, and they have to comply with the requirements listed within the OASIS ordering guide, which is available on our website, gsa.gov/OASIS, and 16505. Many agencies also have supplemental or applicable regulatory supplements that agencies must comply with too. So performance. I just want to take a moment to go over the performance that OASIS has experienced in the last few years since we were stood up in 2014. OASIS has had a pretty good track record, and it's been adopted widely across government, particularly among our DoD services. So today, at the end of FY18, which was this past September, we were valued at $15 billion in obligations, which is pretty good. OASIS has only been around for 4 years. We have 159 contractors performing on 255 master contracts, and about 1,100 task orders were awarded. Our contract types typically tend to trend more towards cost reimbursable at about 45% as opposed to 4% of firm fixed price, and our average order size on small business is approximately $12 million. OASIS Unrestricted is a little smaller as far as its industry pool, has 78 contractors, and they manage they perform on 236 contracts. They have awarded 492 task orders, and their overall value is about $6.7 billion in obligations, whereas OASIS Small Business was at $5.7 billion. Their primary work on unrestricted is definitely cost reimbursable at 75%, and the average order size is $40 million. And you can also see running totals on our performance on our dashboard that's available on our website at gsa.gov/OASIS. So small business has been healthy. Nearly half our obligations have gone to OASIS Small Business. So that equates to about 46% going through the small business vehicle and 54% going through the unrestricted. I would say that they're capturing half the dollars and they're doing about 75% of the task orders. So what this means for you, OASIS Small Business in 2019, we are looking to add close to 600 additional contractors to the OASIS Small Business vehicle alone. So we are going to significantly increase the number of 255 contractors to close to 800. What you're going to hear about later in the slide deck today is how we're adding 200 total contractors to OASIS Small Business Pool 1. We want to increase the size of OASIS Pool 3 to approximately 200 contractors. And Pool 4, we want to increase approximately 100 contractors. We will also be discussing on-ramps or the creation of OASIS Small Business Subpools designed specifically for 8A companies. And you'll hear more about that later in this slide deck today. Now I'm going to turn over the presentation to Brad Demers, who will walk you through the option period and the solicitation requirements. Thank you.